Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're talking about the Bulgari Octo Finissimo automatic, but as it debuted in 2020, now in stainless steel with a contrasting finish and 100-meter water resistance. It's still 40 millimeters in diameter. It's still 46 millimeters from lug-to-lug, but it's a little bit thicker. Not a lot, don't panic. It's gone from 5.1 to 6.8 in the name of making it swimmable with a 100-meter rating and a screw-down crown. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can appreciate that the timepiece is still very, very, very thin. It's also short across the wrist, to the point that I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. It's got a big footprint, but it will work on a lady's wrist or a small male wrist. It's also flat, so if your wrist is oval and sort of flat across the top, all the better for fit. It also feels a lot more substantial. The original titanium Octo Finissimo automatic of 2017 felt a little bit like a toy. For some folks, less is more, but for others, an expensive watch should feel its price, and this one genuinely does. We also have more contrast on the bracelet. You can see a combination of polish and satin. Apologize for my fingerprints here, but it makes for a nice break between surfaces, better bringing out the three-dimensional dip of the links down their center. We have removable links fixed by little bars that are pressed through the links, so you'll need a block and a punch, just like a pin sleeve bracelet to size it, but there are many removable links, so you've got wonderful options for sizing. You will get the precise fit. You can see that the clasp and the bracelet are thoughtfully constructed. There's a little recess in the back of the bracelet adjacent to the clasp, so that when the clasp folds, it folds into the bracelet and it sits flush, so it doesn't get any thicker even though you've doubled it up, so it stays thin on the wrist. Rolling over to the case flank, you can see that the combination of satin and polish does wonders for bringing out the complexity of the case. It was all media blasted on the titanium watch. A little bit of polish goes a long way here. We have a radial satin grain like a 1970s watch laid down by lapping machine on the bezel. Little polished highlights bringing out how many angular surfaces and facets there are. Bulgari claims no fewer than 110 facets. I'm going to press the I believe button. I haven't counted individually, but it's certainly more dramatic with the contrasting finish. Double row knurled crown with little ceramic sapphire-like cabochon. Black ceramic, now screw-down crown, 100 meters water resistant. We have a dial that is matte black with polished indices, numerals, and hands, making for better contrast than the all grayscale original. When you turn the watch over, I'll do my best to get in on the case back. You can see that, get as close as we can here, we have caliber BVL 138. So this is an automatic winder. Note they use a platinum micro rotor, not gold, not tungsten. They use platinum because it is the most dense and it is the most efficient winder. Impressively, despite being only 2.23 millimeters thick, this movement has a 60-hour power reserve. It's also 36.6 millimeters in diameter, so it completely fills the case back of this 40 millimeter watch. Bulgari owns every part of the production process of a watch: cases, clasps, bracelets, dials, and movements. And the movements in particular are made out of Le Sentier in the factory that used to be Gerald Genta. And so they were known for ultra-thin watchmaking in the haute de gamme class, and that's exactly what we have here, made by the same folks who built the legendary Grande Sonnerie pieces. We have a full balance bridge, so it helps to reinforce the rigidity of the movement and better brace the balance against shock. The beat rate is 21,600 vibrations per hour. You can see it's a 36 joule movement. Note the engine turning underneath both the balance and the rotor. Note the solarization of the rotor itself. There is beveling to a mirrored shine on the edge of the bridges and Côte de Genève across their top, with satination on the wheels and black polished screw heads. As with Audemars Piguet, it represents a combination of manual and mechanical finish. I would actually say, given this costs a fraction of an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak or Code 1159, it's punching above its weight in terms of the actual amount of hand finishing you get. So reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.